It's very fascinating to know the movement of soul, the way the soul moves. Now, when people ask me that it is in which time that the soul actually enters the mother's womb, now there are enough research data on that. When you actually do a hypnotherapy or a trance methodology, you will see that by far our soul usually gets in a mother's womb tentatively around 4 to 5 months kind of scenarios. Around that scenario, and just if I go a little bit behind, so basically when the spirit world, when the soul is actually working out to take the final leap to come back, and the soul by the time I've already chosen which kind of body, in what form, what shape, everything the soul have chosen, and the soul comes back. Where the soul, whether it wants to come back or not, the soul knows that to get its own learnings, its own lessons, it has to come back. And then the soul actually enters the mother's womb. And now during this phase of the soul inside the womb and the soul getting into the body. Now, whilst the embryo, in the embryo stage, when the sperm and the ovum have created the embryo, the body forms, the parts of the child body forms, the soul and the body gets unanimated when the soul comes. Now this unanimation takes time to get concretized, which takes close to around 2 to 3 years to get concretized. So till the age of say around 3-4 years, or around little more than that, around 4.5 years, the soul can also at times go out, come back, and similar. I'm sure many of you have seen at times a young baby just glaring for no reason. Where if you now that is the time that the baby still holds lot of connections and memories of the past before it have to go into complete amnesia. Now, by far around 4.5-5 years, the child gets into an amnesia mode. Now, once the child gets into an amnesia mode, it's like Control Del and it goes off. But somewhere inside the system, it is still there, and that's how your regression in hypnotherapy, you can actually pull this data out to the surface for various reasons to heal, so on and so forth. But it's very fascinating to understand how the entry of the soul happens, and then how the soul actually unanimates with the body, and then the soul continues its whole journey till the last phase of the journey. And when the soul knows that, okay, this is my last phase in the body, and the soul have to go off, and again the soul takes its own learnings out there, because that's his main place where the soul have to be, gets again to the same circle of whatever corrections have to be done, and again then chooses based on the guide that actually assigns the choosing part of the story, which I've covered in one of the other videos, and then again gets into a mother's womb. Usually when you take the shape of the human body, which is by far the highest form of body, you do not again degrade yourself until and unless there are specific reasons to degrade, and you consciously want to get degraded for some time before you come back. So this is a beautiful journey of a soul entering into the mother's womb, continuing its journey by getting merged with the body, getting back into a scenario of death, the 4 stages of death, going back to the spirit world, having its own understandings, the learnings around there, and then again coming back to have its own learnings from here, and then going back. Now this is the circle of birth and death and life. Now earlier we understand the circle of birth and death and the entire movement of life, better it is for all of us, and better it will be to lead the correct virtues of life, to make it not only a better perspective of yourself when you're in the spirit world, but for your next birth, you get a much better story ahead. Thank you so much.